my name is Rosalia, and today we're going to be talking about self-realization. One of my favorite books in regards to self-realization is right here next to me. And I'm going to be sharing with you guys a couple of my favorite things in regards to this book. So this book here is Keys to the Ultimate Freedom by Lester Levenson. Okay. So we're going to start off. I'm going to be sharing a couple things here that I love. One of the things we're going to start with today is going to be a beautiful quote that Lester mentions here at the very beginning, okay? And it says, "You are an unlimited being. You always were and you always will be. You have no choice in that. Your only choice is to identify with your unlimited beingness or to identify with your self-imposed limitations." Lester Levenson. So let that sink in for a moment, right? It's very powerful in itself, how the book starts off, right? And then we're going to start here with the foreword of the book. And here's an interesting little piece that I like. It says, "We are unlimited beings, limited only by the concepts of limitation we hold in our minds." Right? With these few words, Lester Levenson, the founder of the Sedona Institute and the originator of the release technique, has given us a very powerful key to assist us in letting go of that which prevents us from leading the kind of loving, successful, joyful lives we want. Right? With just 16 words, they contain both a close description of the obstacle which stands between us and the realization of our dreams and clear prescription for its removal as well. Okay? So, Lester also uncovered what he believes is the dominant desire which drives us to seek for some elusive state or condition which we believe or sense exists beyond the cycles of pleasure and pain, satisfaction and dissatisfaction that seems our usual lot. Lester describes this elusive state, quote unquote, as a state of happiness with no sorrow. Right? And then it goes to mention how many other teachers, such as Lao Tzu, Deepak Chopra, and just some others, right? Certain quotes. And here's another quote here by Lester that has a little bit more, it's within the same context. It goes, "We are unlimited beings, limited only by the concepts of limitation we hold in our mind." And it follows, "So stop being what you are not, a limited body mind, and just be what you are, an infinite, totally free, grand and flowing being, whole and complete." Right? State of completeness, simplicity costing not less than everything. This window to a field of infinite possibilities. This grand flowing being, whole and complete. And how do we get there? Right? And this is precisely a lot of what Lester talked about, right? So here it goes into the primary dilemma. The dilemma of knowing or at times sensing what to do, but not being able or willing to do it. Although confronted by daily disappointments, although sensing and occasionally even experiencing the grace of relief, Most of us continue to remain victimized by our thoughts and the illusions of mind and emotion, which keeps us prisoner in a world seemingly not of our making. And it follows here we must move outside of what Deepak Chopra calls fear-based time-bound reality to find a state of balance, harmony, and happiness. Lester recommends that you do not hurdle your way through them. Instead, read them slowly, allowing enough time for reflection and integration. In short, approach this material as you would a private talk with a friend, right? You will discover for yourself a direct link to the source of your own wisdom. You will, as Lester so often says, come to know that you know. And this, after all, is the ultimate goal of any true teaching. And I'm about to finish here the foreword and these things so I can make a commentary on the book. Okay. It says here, thinking will not get you there. The process is called the release technique, and is quite simply put a very direct and easy way to use to eliminate the boundaries of thoughts, feelings, emotions, and wants which stand between you and self-realization, right? And it says here, and I know that through a loving and committed practice of it, you will experience that unlimited, joyous, and powerful state of being that is our natural right and our natural state. I wish you a remarkable and joyful adventure. George Caponelli, Executive Director of the Sedona Institute. Okay. So let's make a little commentary here in regards to the foreword portion of this book. And then I will break it into different sections and different commentaries. So let's go ahead and start here with this first portion that we went through, right? First of all, Lester is reminding us of something very, very deep inside that we already know, but we may have forgotten or gotten distracted by the illusion, the perception of the body-mind complex, feelings, thoughts, emotions, and a day-to-day life, a common life, right? Now, our natural state is a state of ultimate freedom, peace, grace, joy, happiness. That same thing that we are all seeking, whether that's consciously or unconsciously, right? So pretty much in many of the ancient scriptures, you see that again and again and again, which is thou art that, or I am that I am, or I am, or I, right? What I personally refer to as the infinite I. And especially, and I'm going to be talking more about in my own book, the infinite I becoming aware of itself, right? So typically is through a process of, some people call it purification, some people call it releasing, some people call it shadow work, inner child work, like whatever type of work that allows you to release and shed limitations, blocks, illusions, basically anything in the way of who you think you are and who you actually are. Okay? An infinite, loving, eternal being, right? And a lot of the times, to realize this or to self-realize, we go through a lot of loss, suffering, pain, but there are other ways to self-realize, right? One of the easiest ways described by Lester, which is releasing. Okay, you can look more information about the Sedona method or Lester Levenson releasing method so that you can get a better idea. This particular sessions are going to be commentaries on the book, okay? And I'm going to be shedding, you know, my own thoughts here and there. I'm going to be sharing tools with you guys that can help you on your self-realization journey. We have currently a school community available with resources for super-conscious leadership, for self-realization, and for freedom, right? Ultimately is for the liberation of all sentient beings, for a better world, for ourselves, for our children, for our children's children, right? So, and a lot of that power, that sovereignty, right, comes from truly not just knowing or reading about it or listening to it from a video, but really experiencing for yourself that which you are, right? So that's my invitation. Stay tuned for the next commentaries on the book Keys to the Ultimate Freedom by Lester Levenson, and I hope that you find value in these videos. Thank you.